Hey there. Do you feel like you've hit a wall in your business and you just can't seem to bust through? When we first got started in our business, it felt like a constant dance of three steps forward, two steps back. We were doing the work, we were pushing ourselves. We had big dreams, okay? And we knew we wanted more out of life than what we were getting. It just wasn't happening. So, we made some progress, but we just couldn't get as far as we wanted to go. We just kept hitting this wall and then sliding back. Maybe you can relate, maybe not. I hope not, but I imagine you can probably relate. Well, we quickly learned that if we wanted our business to grow, we were going to have to grow. And that meant digging in and letting go of the mindsets and the fears that were holding us back and just keeping us stuck.
Hey there, everyone. I'm Jordan Maley, and I'm here today with my mom and business partner, Kathy Schneider. We are the co-founders of the Global Freedom Community, and we're super, super excited to come to you guys today with a really powerful episode that we know is just going to take wherever you are in your business right now and help you level up to that next level. So as you're coming on today, say hello. Let us know you're here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching the replay, whether over on Facebook or on our YouTube channel, say hello. We'd love to come back through and introduce ourselves and say hey to you. Hey there, say Lynn and Claudia. Great to see you ladies here. We are a mother-daughter team. We help driven network marketers with the simple strategies to grow your business quickly online. And we are really, really excited to come to you guys every single Wednesday with a new episode of Coffee with K and J. On these episodes, we give free training, we give free resources to help you grow your network marketing business. So if you're over on our YouTube channel, do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. That way you will always be notified when a new episode drops. So hey there. Sometimes Facebook doesn't tell us who's saying hi. So whoever said, hey guys, I want to say hey back to you. Hey Brian, hey Claudia, hey Wendy, hey Penny. Great to see everybody here today. It's very, very exciting. So if you want the goods, okay, we created a free resource to go with this episode. And if you want the goods, it's very simple. All you got to do is go to the link that is scrolling across the bottom of this screen. Or if you're watching over on YouTube, you'll find the link in the description below. Now, we give a full recap of this episode at that link, as well as the free downloadable resource that we put together for you for this episode that'll help you take what we talk about and apply it to your business.
So before we get started, we just wanted to just look you in the eye, okay? Just imagine that you and I are sitting across from one another, and we just wanted to look you in the eye, and we wanted to say, you know what? You are capable. You are worthy. And we want you to know that we, Jordan and myself, we believe in you. We truly do. I remember back when we first kind of dove into hiring our first mentor or like coach, I guess you could say. And he emphasized to us that he believed in us. And he emphasized to us the importance of personal development, the importance of always investing in ourselves when it came to reading and learning and advancing, because he told us he was a big Jim Rohn fan. And he said to us, he said, one thing he learned from Jim Rohn was, your business is only going to grow as much as you do. And I'd not ever heard of Jim Rohn at that time. I was brand new to the Jim Rohn world, but with this guy, we got really exposed to a lot of Jim Rohn stuff, and we loved it. It really made a difference for us. And so I want to share one of my favorite quotes. I didn't put it on the screen. I just wanted to share one of my favorite quotes with you. It's also a Jim Rohn quote, of course. And so he says, if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. And if you don't, you'll find an excuse. And I'm like, oh boy, okay. That pretty much, I remember when that was me. And I still, to this day, when there's something I want to do and I hear myself go, but wait a minute, do I really want to do this? Or am I just finding an excuse?
And sometimes our excuses are rooted in fear and disbelief and things like that. And those are the things we're going to talk about today. Like sometimes we don't make excuses on purpose, right? I mean, but we still have to recognize them for what they are, which is excuses. They're still excuses, but sometimes we're not making those excuses on purpose. We're doing it because we're scared. We're doing it because we're not sure we can be successful. We're a little afraid to go all in. And so we want to really encourage you today to not play small and to let us show you how to play bigger in this episode. I love that. Thanks for sharing that. That was really good.
Oh, absolutely. So before we dig in, I just want to tell you guys, we came across I was digging through some cabinets and came across this set of some of our favorite dream cards. I don't know if you can see those with the light. You see that? Really cool.
This is so cool. Yeah.
This is the back side. Okay. And then the other side, I'm not going to show you all these, but these are actually statements, dreams, little activities, kind of like action steps. And what we're going to do is if you share today's episode, we are going to send you 3 of our favorite, okay? We're going to send you out 3 of our favorite. We thought that's, in this day and time.
A little personal note from us too.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a little package, just some, a little hello. And we want to drop these in the mail to you, and it'll be 3 of our favorites. So if you share today's episode, we'll draw a winner. We may draw 2 or 3 winners. We just might surprise you and draw 2 or 3. So be sure and share. Let us know that you've shared. Drop it in the comments that you shared, because sometimes we don't see who has shared and who hasn't. And we'll drop your name in there. So anyway, 5 fears.
Hey there, Delroy, and hey there, Ina. Great to see you here. As you guys continue to come on, keep saying hi. We're excited to have you.
Absolutely, 100%. So 5 fears and beliefs that are keeping you stuck and standing between you and your dreams. Okay, we're going to help you bust through this. Okay, so let's dig in.
Absolutely. And to help you get more out of this episode, we put together our Belief Busters worksheet. This is going to help you really dig in and identify what specific fears, what specific limiting beliefs are holding you back in your business, and really bust through those through repetition and forming new habits over a 21-day period. It's a really powerful worksheet. It's brand new. If you've been following us for a while, we guarantee you don't have it because we just created it yesterday. And so it's a brand, Mom says she actually finished it this morning. And she's like, so it's brand new, guys.
It is hot off the press. Let me tell you, hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Absolutely. So make sure you head over to globalfreedomcommunity.com/59 to grab that worksheet. And before we dive in and we talk about these 5 things, the 5 most common things that hold people back, we need you to know you already have what it takes. All right. You already have everything you need inside of you to be successful in your business. You're capable of success. You are worthy of success. You just need the right strategies and the right systems and the right people to show you how to get there, right? And here's what we know though, okay? The right strategies, the right systems, the right people, those aren't the reasons why people quit and give up on their business. Because most people, they quit, they give up way before they ever even are consistent enough to know if those strategies work. Okay. And, it's like one of those things that people don't really usually quit network marketing. You don't make this big announcement like, oh, I quit my business, I resign. That happens sometimes. But more often, you just slowly stop working your business. You just slowly stop taking the activity. You slowly stop plugging into the training. You slowly stop checking in on your former customers, right? You just slowly stop. And you look up one day and you realize, I don't think I'm really in business anymore, right? And that is the saddest thing, because you still have those dreams, you still have those goals, you still have all this stuff you want to do, all these people you want to impact. And we want to tell you, we've built teams, you guys, that exceed $10 million in sales volume. All right. Our teams all together over the years have done over $10 million in sales. We can teach you the strategies. We can teach you the skills. We can give you the systems. We can do that. Okay. We're here. We're happy to do that for you. But first, you've got to be willing to let go of that real stuff, that junk that lives between our ears. We all have it, okay? And that's the stuff that's holding you back. And that's what we want to dive in and really tackle with you today. And don't forget, if you share this broadcast, we're going to put your name into a drawing. We're going to send out 3 of our favorite dream cards. They're little action steps, little affirmations, a personal note from us, just a little bit of motivation and reminder that, hey, you got this. We believe in you. So be sure and hit the share button and then comment and let us know that you shared, and we'll put your name in that drawing.
So, okay, belief, or this is the one of the limiting beliefs. Okay, this is number 1. We don't really have these numbered, but this is the first one that we want to talk to you about. So, I don't have enough time. Have you ever said that? Have you ever said that? I don't have enough time. I know I'm guilty of it. I mean, certainly there was a time when I was really guilty of that, which I think back and realize that it was a limiting belief. Okay, because we all have the same number of hours in the day. We all have the same number of hours in the year. We all have a lot of stuff, right? We're all busy. So, I think it's so important that we understand that when you look at other people, guess what? Why is it, okay, let's say you look at 2 people, okay, you look at yourself and then maybe you're looking at someone else and you're like, well, so-and-so, they must just have more time than I have. No, there's 24 hours in a day. We all have the same amount of time. So it's a myth, okay? So it's not about how much time you have, okay? It's more about what you do with the time that you have, okay? And I know for me, one of the things that's helped me tremendously is this little thing right here. It's called a timer. A timer.
So we linked to it in the recap, you guys, if you want to grab one, we linked to it. So
yeah, and so this thing is super simple. This is not high tech. This is super simple. You just turn it and you just focus. And it's so funny. I remember back when my kids were little and it was time for us to clean up, I would set a timer and say, hey, let's see if we can get this playroom cleaned up before the timer goes off. And boom, you know what? They got focused. They did not want that timer to go off before they finished getting things cleaned up. They felt like, they were just like,
made it a game, made it fun.
Yeah, made it fun. And so it's the same with us as adults. We still like to play. We still like to turn things into a game. And so I think it's really important, we always talk about you need to kind of need to block your time out right. You need to work in time blocks. And then when you work in those time blocks, you use a timer so that you can actually work very intentionally. And you are very this is what I'm going to get done during this. I like to do 45-minute session. Okay, so I'll do.
And I listened to a podcast about 1.5 years ago, and I still remember it. They said, are you working on your business or are you working your business? You can work on your business and you're scrolling and you're working on your story and you're working on your goals and you're working on your business, you're planning, you're figuring out who you're going to talk to. Or you can sit down and you can work your business. And that's why the timer is so powerful, because it's I'm going to sit down for 45 minutes and I'm going to work my business.
Yeah, well, and you work with intention. Okay, I'm going to, I'm going to set this timer. And I'll tell you something else you do. Maybe you only have 45 minutes, then set it for 15 minutes and do your networking. Set it for another 15 minutes and do your inviting. Then set it another 15 minutes and do your follow-ups for that day. And it's well, what about the ones I didn't get to? Guess what? You got farther than you would have if you hadn't sat down and done it. And I think so many times we think if we can't do all that we need to do, I just won't do it at all, right? Yeah. Nope, you've got to it's that little bit every day, the consistency of that. And you can invest in some help, okay? So having the right systems, having the right skill set to get you from point A to point B, or maybe I should do A to B, I don't know, the cameras are backwards, so I don't know.
I like to say from point A to point where you want to be.
There you go. You're really funny.
I know.
Did y'all get what she was saying?
Point A to point where you want to be. Isn't that good? I like it.
That's cool. That's cool. So Anyway, that's probably one of the best hacks that we can share with you. I mean, but I'm going to have to say, I am really fond of this timer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. So then the next one. All right, let's dive into this one. And maybe you've said this about things. Maybe you have team members or prospects who've said this, right? I'll do it when I have the money. And if our third little tip up there, investing in some help, right? We say, oh, you got to invest in some help. This can cut years off your learning if you invest in learning the right systems, the right tools, having the right coach. It can take years off your learning curve, right? It can help you do things faster. It can save you so much time. And if you're like, that word invest kind of has you going, right? Then I want you to know you're not alone. Okay. A lot of people, this is like the most common thing we hear all the time is, well, I'll invest in this course, this coaching, this event when my business is making more money, right? People say that all the time. And that's really just another way. The reason this is a limiting belief is because it's another way of saying, I'm afraid that I will invest in this and it won't work. Because think about it. If someone came up to you, if we walked up to you and we said, okay, we are going to write you a check for $1 million. All you have to do is sign up for this coaching program or sign up for this course. That's all you have to do. Just got to sign up for it. All you have to do is go to this event and we're going to write you a check for $1 million. You would come up with the money to go to that event, right? You would come up with the money to sign up for that course. And we say this with so much love, with so much understanding, because we've been there. We drug our feet, and we still, even in recent years, have caught ourselves saying, well, when we're making a little bit more, when we hit this rank, then we'll invest in this. And we found that that's a limiting belief, that we don't believe that investment is going to pay for itself and make us more money. Mm-hmm. And so we want to encourage you to trust yourself enough to find the right coach, find the right program, and trust yourself enough that you're going to follow through and finish what you start, because that's going to make dividends for your business. Like we talked about it the other day. Every time we've invested in a coach, our business has grown by 10x within the next few months, every single time. That's the only thing we've invested in. Like, we've bought courses and things that we didn't finish and we didn't go through, whatever, but we've gone to events that, were kind of a bust. But coaching is the one thing that every single time we've made the decision to invest in it, it has grown our business by 10x. Okay. And so I want you to trust yourself enough that you can find the right person, the right program, and that you will follow through and you will finish. Okay. Because it's huge. It can be a huge thing for your business. And what that might look different for every single one of you. Maybe you've never invested anything in your business before. Maybe it's investing in a $17 program, right? That's going to give you one thing that's going to help make you, make it easier for you. Maybe it's something that small. I remember the first course Mom invested in.
Yeah, the first course I invested in, I think, was around $100, might have been $150. I can't remember exactly. And I mean, it took me days. I bought it on the very last day it was offered because I was so nervous about buying it. But what I was going to say that I think might help some people too that are really struggling with investing in their business, maybe you're just going to commit to buying one book a month, reading that book, completing it, actually implementing what you learn in that book, and then buying another one. And then you're going to do the exact same thing. And then you're going to do the exact same things. You're going to build your library, okay? And then what happens is you don't have to always buy another book and another book and another book. You can go back and reread the same ones. And every time you reread, guess what? Your mind is in a different place, okay? You've advanced, you've learned, you've grown. And so you will hear things. I say hear because you're reading to yourself, right? So you're going to hear things that you didn't hear last time. Yeah. And so, and that's for me, even courses that we go back through, I will go back through a course again and again. It's not one and done. I like to repeat those things. I think it's really important. And I know also when I started investing in my business, when it came to like courses and um, coaches and whatever, okay, I started actually going to events and that type of thing. I started seeing my business as a business and not this little thing I was doing that I paid. I don't know. I think, well, actually, you know what? The first company I joined, I think, was $99. But the one I was at when I really got serious, guess what it was to join? $39.95. Yep. And it took me 5 years almost to get really, really serious. And it was when I got to the situation that I knew I've either got to do this or I'm going back to teaching. And guess what? That's when I decided to get serious, right? But at a $40 investment, I didn't take it like it wasn't a big risk, you know? Yeah. And that included the product. I mean, seriously, that included the product, which is kind of funny. So yeah, I just think it's so important.
That's a really great tip, Brian. I love that. He says he highlights in a different color every time he rereads a book so he can see what new he catches on to each time. I think that's really powerful.
I love that.
Cool. And you know, if you're looking at investing in a course or coaching and you're looking at the bank account or the credit card and you're like, actually, like, don't have the money for this, right? There's a difference. And I know I've been in this, I've been on both sides of this. And so I want to say there's a difference in if I invest in this, I'm not going to be able to keep the lights on, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to be able to keep food in the fridge. And there's a difference in that. And if I invest in this, I'm going to maybe have to give up some Starbucks, or I'm going to maybe have to give up that guilty pleasure drive-through fast food that I eat every once in a while, right? Tighten up your budget. Evaluate what you can get rid of. My husband and I do this every 90 days in our household budget. We go through all of our subscriptions, all of our bank statements, and we're like, okay, what are we not using? What can we negotiate and get for less expensive, right? I hate spending money that I don't have to spend. Mm-hmm. Hustle a little bit, sell some stuff, right? Maybe you're going to clean out your house, clean out your closets, and you're going to sell some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Or maybe, you know, you're in network marketing. Maybe you're going to hustle and sell some products. I know when I wanted to go to a company event, I would go out. Mom can attest to this. I would take my little basket of products and I would go door to door to car dealerships and sell products to make cash so that I could buy the things that I wanted to buy, because my team wasn't making enough money yet for my business to cover those costs. So do a little bit of hustling, get creative, get solution oriented, figure out how you can invest in your business, because I'm telling you, it is 1000% worth it.
So, you know, I fortunately, this is not one that I've ever had, I've not personally experienced, but
I have, not with Chris, but when I was married before. So
yeah, but I've had, well, and I'll say that. I mean, I was married actually before I was married to Jimmy. No one knows this, but my spouse wasn't even supportive of me being a teacher. Okay. He thought he was an engineer and he felt like teachers were like, I don't know, I guess scum of the earth. I'm not really sure what he thought, but anyway, that might be why he's not around anymore. In my life. I'm sure he's around somewhere, but he's not around my life. Like, I was like, okay, I don't need this. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying get rid of your spouse. He was a bad person in a lot of ways. But, you know, maybe your spouse isn't on board. But you know what? What I have found is even when, like, maybe there's a project around the house I want to do, and Jimmy's not like all for it, there's always ways I can come up with getting him interested in doing it. And it's a matter of like sitting down and having a conversation and telling him why this is important to me. And, you know, letting him know that, oh gosh, this is like, I have to kind of like express the dream and let it become our dream or our goal or our project. It's not my project, my goal, my dream that I just want him to do all the work for or to support me in, or I'll be honest, most of the projects involve him doing a lot of stuff. So I kind of have to get him on board. But it's like, you know what, when you let someone into your world and you actually communicate, and maybe you've done that, maybe it's still not working. So I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying that, but I want you to really stop and ask yourself, what can I do like to maybe move my spouse to get a little more supportive? And maybe that's saying, hey, you know what? I just got my commission check this month, and I'd like to treat the family to our favorite pizza night, or I'd like to treat the family to a movie and, maybe ice cream afterwards. Or it doesn't even, so it doesn't have to be huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just has to be a point of, and this even gets the kids on board. I've found that as a mom, it's important that our kids are on board. And obviously, our kids, they're young. Mine aren't anymore, obviously. But when your kids are young, it's something you have to always remind them of, right? So maybe it's your kids. So what you want to do is you start saying, hey, you know what? If you let mom do this, or honey, if I get to do this, guess what? At the end of the year, we have got this planned, and maybe it's a trip somewhere when we all, the world opens up and we all get to start traveling again.
It's just a weekend getaway to a cabin in the woods, right? It doesn't have to be some huge, extravagant thing. Kids love weekend getaways.
It can be a camping trip. You know what? Kids love to go camping. It could literally be a Saturday staycation. You stay in town, but you just go and visit maybe like 4 or 5 of your favorite parks. And literally you pack a lunch and you just spend the day, So there's all kinds of ways that you can do where you actually celebrate the little wins, but you make it a family affair, okay? Or you make it something you do with your spouse. And you want to involve them, and you want to communicate. So I want you to really stop and ask yourself, how, why is my spouse not on board? And then come up with a way that you can, like, oh, well, here's an idea.
And over on the recap page, which you'll see, it's scrolling across the bottom, globalfreedomcommunity.com/59. We put a script in there that we actually learned recently at an event that we attended. And it just really resonated with me because we hear this all the time, right? My spouse isn't on board. I'd love to do this, but my husband doesn't want me to. My husband doesn't get it, right? And oh man, I resonate with that, right? Chris now is so incredibly supportive, but I've been there, and I know how you can feel very lonely in it, right? You start to think, man, maybe they're right. Maybe I can't do this. Maybe this is a crazy idea, right? Because you feel like you're the only person that believes in what you're doing, right? And it can just feel lonely, even if they're not telling you, no, you can't do that. It's just, you can't share your excitement, right? And it's kind of a buzzkill a little bit. But we put a script in there that is really powerful way to kind of share with your spouse what you're doing. And then we shared some tips, 3 tips. One mom shared, which is really good, or actually she shared 2, taking the family out for dinner or planning a trip at the end of the year. We shared another one. So go be sure and check out that recap page. And in the meantime, know that there are hundreds of us, thousands of us out here in the internets that support you, that believe in you. You are not alone. You are not crazy. You can do this, right? And we actually put a link in the recap page to our Facebook group. We've got over 10,000 people in that group who are supportive of you. They will encourage you. They want you to win. All right. So make sure you're in that group. It's a free group. It's just a resource for network marketers that we put together. Sometimes the business can feel lonely. So I think building a community around yourself is, it can be very, very important and very, very powerful. Penny, I'm going to go ahead and type that link in for you.
So, and another thing I want to suggest while Jordan's doing that right quick, I think it's really important when you can get your spouse to an event. And again, ask them, say, it's important to me that you not stay in the room, but that you actually go to the event with me. You know, I mean, like, I want you to come. I know this isn't your thing, but it would just mean the world to me. Like it would just really mean the world to me.
And I remember with Chris, when we first started dating, I got him to go to an event and I'm not going to say he was anti-MLM, but he was pretty close. Like he had never been around it. He knew nothing about it. A lot of what he had heard was bad, right? And he was like, okay, that's cool that you do this and you're successful. And I got him to go to an event and he was like 100% only went because he loved me. It had nothing to do with the business, nothing to do with the event or anything like that. And he walked out of there and he said, okay, this is different than what I thought it was. You were right. And the next time an event came around, I asked him, I said, of course, I want you to be there, but don't feel obligated. Like you don't have to come. And he said, no, I feel like it's important for the team for me to be there.
Well,
And I said, yeah, you're right. It is. I think that's really powerful. I'm glad you're coming. Like, I didn't want to force it on him, but I did kind of force him to go to that first one, right?
well,
Because I
I
wanted him
remember
to.
at the first break of the very first one, and this one you're going to have to understand. It was a very unusual event that Chris went to. The very first one, he really got like thrown into a situation where our break was you eating lunch and still listening, and then literally running out to like go to the bathroom, and it was like, sorry, we're running behind, get back in, we got to come. I mean, there were no breaks, you
There were
know.
no. Yeah.
It was just boom, boom, boom. But I caught him out in the hall for a minute, and I said, so what do you think so far? And he looked at me and he goes, and you got to understand, Chris is a great communicator, but he's very quiet. He
Mm-hmm.
kind of keeps his thoughts to himself until he's ready to really share them. And he
Mm-hmm.
looked at me and he goes, "Oh, it's interesting. It's interesting." And of course, like Jordan said, by the end of the day, or really, I think it was at the end of a couple of days, by the time it was over, he had come, really, I won't say full circle, but pretty much full circle. He was like, this is really different. And you know what made a lot of difference? It wasn't what people were saying from stage. It wasn't necessarily like they talked him into this or he, drank the juice or anything like that. Okay. It wasn't that. It was that he started seeing and meeting the other people. He was like, these are really cool people. Like, this is a
Oh,
great
yeah,
group
like,
of people to hang around.
all the guys cooked us breakfast one morning, and all the they went into the grocery store and got us drinks one night. Like, I remember the guys really had a great time, and it was really important for them to see the people. Yeah, don't worry, I prospected him, didn't I?
It's so true. So yeah, it's important. So I want you to really like be creative and to ask yourself, what can I do? So this is another good one, or not good one, but another one that we see a lot. Okay, we see this a whole lot. I'm afraid I might fail. I mean, I remember feeling this way. I was one of those people in high school. I was not involved in any sporting events. You know why? Because I thought I couldn't play any sporting events. I wasn't in choir. I wasn't in band. You know why? Because I couldn't sing. I couldn't play an instrument. I mean, I didn't really have, what I was involved in high school in, I was involved in DE, which was distributive education, which was learning to run a business. That's what I was passionate about. So I was kind of a nerd. I was kind of a weirdo. So my kids all come by very naturally. But when it came to so much, I remember in business though, when it really came to actually like not just learning about it, but getting out there and actually doing it, I was like, I'm afraid I might fail. Like, what if I fail? Like that's going to be so embarrassing because it's like everyone's going to know I started this thing and it's not working, and I'm just like, I'm not good at it. And I was really fearful of that. And I think it's something that I think a lot of people experience this, regardless if they have a supportive spouse, regardless of the time thing. I mean, this is just something that I think is really big for a lot of people.
Well, I was doing some research for this episode, and I actually discovered that more people are afraid of failing than are afraid of spiders.
Can you be afraid of both?
I think you can be afraid of both, yes, but there are more people afraid of failing than afraid of spiders. And I think that's so true. And I think sometimes we hold ourselves back from really playing full out, from going all in our business, because we're afraid, like, what if I really give 110% and it's not enough? What if I go whereas if you don't try your best, if you don't go all in, if you don't sell out, then you can always say, well, if I'd have tried a little harder, if I'd have took it a little more seriously, oh yeah, that didn't work for me, but you know what? I didn't really work it much. Whereas if you work your butt off, what if it doesn't work? And the coolest thing about network marketing is you literally can't quit, or you can't fail unless you quit. You can't. Like, you will always win if you keep going and you stay in consistent action. There's not a deadline on your dreams. There's not a deadline. Like, yeah, we say set a goal with a deadline, but guess what? I miss goals all the time, all the freaking time. I've got a big old list here. I had this goal to read 50 books in 2020. I've read 17. It's October.
You better
I
get.
probably should have,
We better go and let Jordan get back to reading.
yeah, no, I should have read, I should have picked shorter books. Like the one I just finished 2 days ago was 800 pages. So like, I probably should have picked some shorter books. But like, I'm not going to hit that goal, but I still write my book down every time I finish it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get to 50. It might be in 2021, but I'm going to get there. Does that mean I failed? No, it just means I haven't gotten there yet, right? I'll get there. Doesn't mean I failed. I'll only fail if I actually just give up and quit reading, right? And so, it's so important.
I want to read these stats and see. I want you on to be ready. I want you to type into the comments. So in network marketing, the only way you lose is if you quit. Okay. I think we can all agree with that, right? Can you agree with that? That in network marketing, the only way you lose is if you quit. And because of a recent study cited that lack of motivation, 41%. Okay. Lack of motivation, 41%. Lack of time, 32%. Or simply not knowing where to start, 19%. Are the leading causes of people not hitting their goals. So for you, are any of those you? Is it lack of motivation, lack of time, or you don't know where to start? So which one of those do you, and maybe it's not any of those. If it's not, that's okay. I mean, like, I'm not trying to.
Like, if you look back, like, I know there's some goals this year that I'm not where I want to be at. The books, for one, right? So if I look back over this last year and I think, okay, why did I really not hit that goal? I could say time, but that's probably not it for the books. It was probably motivation. I chose to do other things with my time instead of read more, right? I mean, I still read 17 books. It's pretty good so far, right? Big books. I'm not like knocking myself, but really it's probably a lack of motivation for that one for me.
Yeah. So Danny said, new mom, right? And that's a, it's a reality when Delroy says my mindset.
Sometimes we don't go after our goals because we don't believe we can achieve them, right? We don't really take the action that
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. I actually have 5 Harry Potter books up there that I finished this year. So
she's very motivated to read Harry Potter. I will say that.
Actually, I read it every year. So.
That is not, and she always finds the time for Harry Potter. So it's all about priorities, right?
You guys,
we get done what is important to us or what we enjoy. So yeah, no, I'm glad. I appreciate you guys dropping that in the comments. And remember, if you share, we're going to pick some winners for a dream card. Okay, we're going to send several of these out to you. So if you if you share, make sure you tell us, because we want to make sure your name goes into the drawing. We've got lots of these to send out. And I've got some that aren't so girly on the colors aren't so girly. So you guys don't feel like if one of the guys win, I promise I will send you some more.
I love these. I have this set that I keep on my desk. And this one, I trade them out based on kind of what I feel like I need. I've been feeling a little scattered lately, so I stuck this one on here. I'm laser focused, and I keep it on a little stand right by my desk, and it says, today is all about taking specific action, completing specific tasks, and accomplishing specific goals. Every thought, every word, every step gets me closer to today's goal. I am razor sharp. It's pretty cool.
It's awesome. Yeah, so we've got several. So guys, I'll make sure if you win, I won't send you a pink curly one. Okay. I will find one that is more masculine. But I'll be honest, the things on the cards would work for anybody. So, but anyway, okay. So
all right, last one, and let's talk about this for a second, okay? We already said it. There is no deadline on your dreams. Okay? There is no deadline. And I'm hearing a bit of an echo. Are you hearing that? Am I the only one hearing it? Okay.
I'm not.
There's no deadline on your dreams. And I want to share our 2 stories. And then I have one other story for you about, people see us. Do you ever look at successful network marketers and think they've always been successful, or they've been successful from the very beginning? Mom shared a little bit of hers before. I'll let her go first, and then I'll share mine. And then I have one other one that I want to share with you really quickly. And I'll be quiet. And I think it's me that's making the echo. So I'll let Mom go first.
Yeah. So I worked my business 5 years before I really got serious and made the decision to take action and really use my business as the vehicle to replace my income as a teacher. Okay. I was just like determined because I knew that I was like, okay, when Paige goes back to school, she was our third child. We weren't having any more. And I knew I was like, when she goes back to school, I mean, I, I can't just sit here, right? I mean, there's things we want to do. There's places we want to go. We had a lot of goals, a lot of dreams as a family. And I was like, I either need to get serious and make this work like a business and quit treating it as a little part-time hobby, or I'm going to go back to teaching. And so I drew the line in the sand and I just said, this is it. I'm going to get busy. And guys, I mean, I just put my head down and I didn't, guess what? I had no more time than I had before. My husband wasn't supporting me anymore. I mean, he was supporting me all along, but um, it wasn't like all of a sudden he was supporting me more and helping around the house anymore. Okay. It wasn't a matter of, I mean, it was just a matter of me. It was all in here. It was in my head. And I just had to make that decision that I'm going to make this my career. I think for me, it was deciding that word, like, this is my career. Like, I am a professional network marketer. I'm proud of being a professional network marketer. And I'm going to show the world what professional network marketers can do and and I'm going to help a lot of people. I mean, obviously, in this industry, if you don't go out there and help a lot of other people, you can't make money. Okay. It's about helping other people, which is really cool because the more people you help, the more you make. And it just goes from there. It just keeps growing. So for me, that was it. I just decided that you know what, I made that decision and I had that timeline. I mean, it took that timeline of knowing Paige was going back to school. Okay. And actually, even though she was like 3 years old, I think at the time, when I made that decision, or she might have been two, when she was that age, I'm going to be honest, I was busier then than I was when she was a baby, because as the kids get older, I mean, it was like, okay, she's going to preschool and she was going 2 days a week. Clayton was in kindergarten, but it was only half day. And then Jordan was in school. We lived it was like 45 minutes round trip to the school, and they were all on a different schedule. And so I spent tons of time going back and forth. And I also found that, even though so what I had to do was I had to say, okay, you know what? I had to pull out that calendar and go, where can I work my business? And I discovered that, okay, you know what? I've got like an hour and a half during nap time. And sometimes she would sleep 2 hours. But if she slept over 2 hours, I had to wake her up to go pick up someone else at school. And so I basically had an hour and a half that I just had to focus. But you know what? I'd always had that hour and a half. Nap time, they slept more. She slept more when she was younger. And I was on the road less when she was younger. And so for me, it wasn't time, although I used that. And it wasn't that Jimmy didn't do, he wasn't doing anymore. He was working so many hours. He was supportive of my business, but he wasn't supportive around the house because he was never at the house. And not because he didn't want to be, because he was working. Okay. So for me, it was a matter of just making the decision and saying, you know what? This is it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And that was it. And so anyway.
And maybe, Mom, could you mute yourself or mute your mic while I talk? I don't know why the echoes started. There, I think that took care of it, because I muted while you were talking as well. So, the big thing there too is that she wasn't successful right away, right? Like, what if she'd given up before she made that decision? And it was the same thing for me. Because my mom didn't give up, I got started in 2005, and I treated my business like a hobby for 3 years. I was 18, 19, 20 years old. I had other stuff I was prioritizing in my life, right? And I treated my business like a hobby. I had a lot of personal development work I needed to do back then. I was very shy. I was very introverted. I was terrified to talk to people. And I let all of that keep me from building my business and treating it like a business. But you know what? It didn't matter how much social anxiety I had. I still showed up for work at my job because I had to, because I would have gotten fired. You know, I still talked to people when they came. I worked at an apartment complex. I still talked to people when they came in the office, because if I didn't, I would have gotten fired, right? Like, I pushed through it for my job, but I didn't treat my business like a career. And then it was actually in January of 2008, I read a book. It was Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy. We linked to it in the recap. It completely changed my perspective. It helped me realize that my success was possible, that I could overcome all of my insecurities, I could overcome all of my fears. And within 1 year of reading that book and being very consistent in my business, I became the youngest person in the company to hold a leadership position. It didn't matter that it had taken me 3 years to get there. You know, it took me 3 years to earn a comma check in my business. 3 years of really working my business. I didn't work it consistently week in, week out, but I worked my business. It wasn't like I just had a distributorship and didn't work at all, right? Like, I was putting in effort, but I wasn't putting in effort consistently, and I wasn't doing the right activities because I didn't treat it like a business. And the last story I want to share with you is from a guy that we know. His name is Jordan Adler. We had an opportunity to work with him for a little while several years ago. And he is just an industry legend in network marketing. And I love his story. Jordan Adler, if you ever have a chance to hear him speak, more than likely he's going to stand up and he's going to pull out a wallet and he's going to flip it open. And there is going to be a run of cut up credit cards that he still keeps in his wallet. And those are the credit cards that he lived off of while trying to make his network marketing business work. And he doesn't say that's how you should do it, right? Like, he's not promoting that you should go into tons and tons of debt to grow your business, but he was in 10 companies over the course of 11 years before he ever sponsored a single distributor. Not one. And he didn't have a full-time job. He just really wasn't very good at it. He was in business for 11 years before he ever sponsored a single person. And then in that 10th company, he got really serious and someone told him he needed to be coachable. He needed to have a system. He needed to learn the skills that it would take to be successful. And he got really serious about learning the system, learning the skills, getting help from a coach, from somebody who could help him, somebody who was where he wanted to be. And he now leads a team of over 200,000 business builders and over 500,000 customers. That, like, what if he had given up on company number 9? Can you imagine? Like, think of those 200,000 people that never would have been introduced to that business because of his ripple effect, right? He didn't sponsor 200,000 people, but because of that, because of him bringing people in, they brought people in, 200,000 people are in network marketing today because he didn't give up on company number 9. He didn't give up in year number 10. Okay, so regardless of your track record, regardless of how long it takes you to get going, you can make a decision today. That's all it takes. It just takes a decision. You got to invest in yourself. You got to go all in. And with the right systems, the right tools, the right coaching, the right help, your success is inevitable. Okay, you've got it. It's inevitable. You just got to have the right systems to help you get there. I'll let Mom finish this up.
Sorry. Okay, had to unmute. Yeah, that was really good, really good. So we want you to grab this Belief Busters worksheet, hot off the press. Be sure and grab it. Let us know how much you love it, because I know you're going to love it. I think this is going to be really, really powerful for you. We actually share inside this worksheet some things that you can use, but then we also give you some space to kind of do a little of the work that we kind of guide you through as well. Okay, so I want you to grab it at globalfreedomcommunity.com/59 is where you can get a recap of everything we talked about today. This video will show up here in just a little bit. And then, of course, the freebie is there where you can just click and grab that and download it. And anyway, so grab that, share it with anyone that you think might need this, okay? And then we just want to know, what is stopping you from playing big in your business? Drop it in the comments. What is stopping you from playing big in your business? And maybe it's, I don't want to be big. I just want to build a little business. That's okay, okay? It's okay if that's what you want to do, all right? But if it's not what you want to do, if that's not an intentional decision, then that's not okay. And I want you to let us help you figure out what's stopping you from playing big. And let's break through that, okay? Let's break through whatever it is that's stopping you, and let's help you. Let us help you step across that line and step into your greatness, okay? So anyway, drop in the comments. Let us know what's stopping you. Or maybe you're saying, hey, nothing's stopping me. I'm building big. I'm going big. It's go big or go home, right? Maybe that's where you're at, and that's awesome. So anyway, we appreciate you being here. We thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week. And don't forget to share and drop in the comments that you did, so that I can drop a card or 2 or 3, well, several. I'll definitely drop 3, but we'll draw 2 or 3 people. But I'm going to send these in the mail to you with a little note from Jordan and myself, little words of encouragement. Really, you need the note from us more than you need this, okay? So share so we can send you a note. We'd love to do that. And we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for sticking with us. This was kind of long today, but we loved our time with you, and we appreciate you so much for being here.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.
Bye.